Absolutely not.
Are we live now?
Yes, we
I know. There was a wreck right at 65.
coming right back to started. You want to borrow it?
You'll please take your seats. Hi, my name is Autumn. I'm with 15th District PTA President. Oh, I'm with the district, but I'm president. Call the meeting to order at 6:17.
Yes.
The light is just hitting that clock right. So for this vote, I'm actually going to appoint Heather Wampler, which is Kentucky State PTA President, to run this meeting.
Thanks. As she said, my name is Heather Wampler. I am the president of Kentucky State PTA. So at this time, I'd like to make the following appointments. Paula Wolf to be Secretary Pro Temp, non-voting tonight. Sharon Whitworth, parliamentarian, non-voting tonight. Tellers for ballot voting will be Jenna Jennings, Kathy Smiley, and Rolanda Woolfolk, and all of them also will be non-voting members tonight. At the speaking table will be Sherry Dymar for the against and Chris Medley for the for. And again, they're also non-voting members here tonight. So tonight we have members here from Fayette County, 16th District, and a few from Jefferson County, 15th District, that are to help chair this bylaw change meeting. None of us who are here representing Kentucky State PTA will be placing a vote in regards to these bylaws. We do want to make it clear that 15th District PTA Board of Managers is more than capable of handling this meeting and vote tonight. Having received some concerned calls, 15th District PTA Board felt it best if Kentucky State PTA come in and chair the meeting, so there'll be no question that is being done with a hierarchy of our association's governing documents. As per the bylaws, 30 days notice was given to the general membership. 15th District PTA bylaws state in Article 12, meetings, Section 2, the meetings of this district shall be open, but the privilege of making motions, debating, and voting shall be limited to the association's board of directors and accredited delegates of each local PTA, PTSA within the boundaries of the district. Section 4 reads, each local PTA, PTSA in the district shall be entitled to be represented at the 15th District meetings by 5 accredited delegates of each local PTA, PTSA. Accredited delegate section shall be determined by the 15th District PTA standing rules. Section 5, 30 members shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business in any general membership meeting of this PTA, PTSA. The 15th District PTA standing rules state, 1, 5 accredited delegates from each 15th District local PTA shall have voting privileges. A, each local PTA president or interim president may submit up to 5 names for the accredited delegates. List of names must be submitted 3 days in advance of the meeting. B, each delegate must show a picture ID and current membership card. Please note here that the bylaws supersede the 15th District PTA standing rules. B was sent out. 15th District PTA Board will also have 5 accredited delegates that will be allowed to vote. So according to the bylaws of the 15th District PTA, Article 12, Section 2, Board of Directors can vote tonight from 15th District PTA. I do understand a document was sent out previously that states otherwise. However, remember, we are here tonight to do this meeting correctly, and the bylaws supersede the standing rules. Tonight's motion comes from a committee and will not require a second. Rules of the debate. An accredited delegate member will go in and sign to obtain speaking privileges. Please have your ID and membership card with you, plus your lovely yellow wristband you're wearing. And as you'll see, I'm not wearing one because I'm not a voting delegate tonight. If you are not an accredited delegate, you will not be able to speak. To speak, you need to go back and see Chris and Sherry in the back of the room. No member can speak more than twice to each debatable motion. The second time takes place after everyone wishing to debate the motion has had an opportunity to speak once. You will only have 2 minutes to speak. When it becomes your turn to speak, please announce your first and last name to the chair, including your PTA, PTSA that you are representing. The maker of the motion will be speaking first. Then we will rotate for and against. Debate is made to the chair. It is confined to the merits of the motion and not the motives or personalities of other members. If a speaker does this, I will tell them, please stay germane to this motion at hand. You will hear my gavel go down, and I will make sure that we stay back to the main topic of the motion. A motion that is being brought tonight can be amended. It will require a second to be discussed. Debate can be closed only by the Assembly's 2/3 vote or by the chair if no one seeks the floor for further debate. Tonight's votes will be done by ballot. The tellers will be calling off numbers when handing you a ballot to vote. This will give us the total number of eligible ballots being cast. You will follow the chair's instruction as what is being asked of you for voting. Please note if it's not being done correctly, that ballot will not count. It takes a 2/3 in the affirmative to pass or the motion will fail. Also, please note tonight, if you see me and my parliamentarian Sharon, she's passing me notes. My parliamentarian here is advising me, making sure I'm staying on task, making sure we are doing everything properly and accordingly. So we're not trying to be secretive. We're not trying to pass anything by you. She could be correcting me and telling me it didn't quite do that right. And so I need to make sure that we're having this upheld highly. At this point, I need to make sure you guys know, once I read the very first motion, that door is going to close because we will be then into the debate of the first motion. If you exit this room for any reason, you will not be allowed back in until we read the second motion. Does everyone understand that? Does anyone have any questions on how the processes work tonight? Because I want to make sure everyone's clear on everything before we start this. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. You don't have to go to the back table just yet. That'll be once we start the motions. Everyone ready for me to read the first motion? Rolanda, afterwards, tellers come in, door closes. Thank you. All right, bylaw proposed changes. Bylaw change 1. Oh, I should have done my Roman numerals. Under 9, Board of Directors Managers, add a new section 6. Section 6. If a board member has been removed from the 15th District Board of Directors for cause, theft, malfeasance, or not fulfilling their duties, they shall not be eligible to hold a position on the 15th District PTA Board of Directors. Appeal process. If removed from office after a minimum of 2 years, an appeal may be made. An individual may be reinstated by a majority vote of the 15th District PTA Executive Board. The rationale to this was, and you guys all had access to this beforehand, if a person has been removed from the 15th District PTA, then to put them back on without a review would be careless. However, since people change and so does boards, an appeal process has been added to make sure that 15th District is being fair to all those who want to serve. The appeal process is outlined in the 15th District PTA standing rules. So if you want to speak for it, against it, you will need to go back and see Chris or Sherry. And my first speaker is Eddie Squires. Signed up, Eddie. Making sure y'all know you have to have your membership card and your ID before heading back. Trying to save you some steps. If you guys want to go ahead and do for or against now, go ahead and start getting in line. So that way you guys will be ready. So Eddie, if you want to, just stand and speak.
All right. Eddie Squires, 15th District PTA, BRP. This bylaw change was in effect because we needed it in our bylaws for tracking of people that's been removed from the board. It could be for mental illness, for theft, for things that just go on that do not meet and align with the National PTA, Kentucky PTA mission and standards. So we need to get a better tracking of this, and through our bylaws, we would create the tracking mechanism. We do have it in our minutes that where people have been removed, but we do need to do this at a local level and keep track of it at our district level as well. So that we can go on and we have the run-in list so that we will be able to pass that on from board on down, because somebody could come back in a couple years and maybe have stolen something, and the new board may not know that it happened. So we need to make sure that we have tracking and that we have a list that is passed down through the president-elect, and it stays continually through our minutes.
Thank you. Sherry, do we have?
Yes.
And who was that? Okay. Can you introduce your first, last name, and the school you're representing?
I'm Karen Bennett, and I'm representing the Academy at Shawnee. My opposition to this is that in the first sentence where you're talking about for cause seems very vague, very general kind of words you describe someone or just describe action. So I'm very uncomfortable about that, as well as the appeal process. What's the appeal process? It's not written out to, fairly be, have some kind of way to, just have a process to do that. Now, it does say down here that the appeal process is outlined in the standing rules. However, the standing rules, they change every year. So that appeal process, if it's not spelled out of what, process, then that standing rules, then they can just change from day to day or year to year. So Shawnee has problems with how this is worded.
Thank you, Karen. Chris, do we have another? First name, last name, and school.
I'm Brittany Bolliard, and I'm on the 15th District PTA, as well as Great House Elementary. I am for this just for the fact that this doesn't limit anyone. So if you've been removed from the board for any of these reasons, this isn't limiting you to never being able to come back. There are new boards, so every 2 years a new board rotates. So you can come back, and this new board that has maybe nothing to do with what happened or why you were removed, you have the opportunity to come back, appeal for whatever reason that you were removed, and you can be on the board again. This is not saying you can never come back. This is giving you this is putting a process in place. So if there was something, theft or something like that, this is putting in place a process for you to come back and be on the board. We're not saying you never want to, but there will be new people that will be able to vote for the process. This change is in accordance with national and their policies and procedures. We're just trying to make ourselves in alignment with what they're already saying. So it's not the PTA district coming up with something new we are making ourselves in alignment, so we are doing what we're supposed to do based on their laws and their policies that they have in place.
Great, thank you, Brittany. Sherry? All right, Chris, do you have one?
Sienna Newman speaking for on behalf of the 15th district. Partly responding to the idea of cause is that any cause would have to be something that was voted on by the entire board of directors. Right now, that current board sits on with 17 people, and it adjusts based on the need of the district. In expectation of next year, we imagine we'll have over 20 board of directors who would vote on that cause position. The only causes that would be justified would be things that would directly go against the standing rules, bylaws, or policies and procedures of the national PTA or local and district and state level. Thank you.
Thank you, Sienna. Sherry, nothing. Chris? Autumn?
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Name?
Oh, sorry. Autumn Nagel, again, 50th District PTA President. The PTA, thank you for letting me speak. The PTA is a national group and with policies and rules that all subordinate groups must follow. The Board of Managers feels that someone has broken the rules or stolen, not fulfilled their duties, or even misrepresented his PTA, then the board has a right to vote them to remove that person. I know that we are all human and we do make mistakes. This is why the appeal process was put into place. A 2-year minimum is there to make sure that there is a possibility of a brand new board to hear the case. As 15th District President and my Board of Managers that currently sit until June 30th, it's not the same board that was 2 years ago. My Board of Managers is 18 people. 9 of those people were not on the board 2 years ago. That is a complete new people that have not been on the board. If you even look at the nominated slate that is coming up, out of the 8 elected positions, 4 of them have never sat on the 15th District Board either. So you do have a change in leadership, not only in the district executive board, but also as our chairman. Those running from the floor also show 4 of the 6 have never been on the district board. Therefore, you can clearly see the board changes every 2 years as people change and move on and give the new people time to come aboard. This makes the appeal process fair. That's what we want.
Thank you, Autumn. Do you have any other speakers? Yeah, go to.
Okay, Eddie Squires, 15th District PTA. I would like to call for the vote.
Okay. It takes 2/3 for us to call for the vote. If we do not have 2/3, then we continue debate. I don't have to use my ballot, do I?
No, just saying.
All right. All in favor, raise your hand. Keep them up so I can. You want to call for the vote? Yes. Like, why are you raising your hand?
I can't vote. I raise my legs to it now.
All right, down. All opposed, please raise your hand. Motion carries. We are calling for the vote. Colors. So let me explain how this process is going to work. One of the lovely ladies here is going to, if you have a yellow wristband on, you're going to show them. They're going to give you a ballot and go 1. Next person that has 2. We need to know how many ballots we're giving out their ballot to count to vote. The other person's going to come behind. We brought pens for everyone. And my lovely office today tested all the pens, so they do work.
You're welcome to steal them.
We don't need them back. And the other, afterwards, when your vote's done, is going to go in the ballot box. Is going to go in the ballot box. My tellers cannot touch them. If you guys drop it, you have to pick it up. These are parliamentarian Robert's rules, which we are following today. So they're going to go through and count off so we know how many we have. You guys are going to write one of two things on this paper. So I'm going to read the motion one more time for everyone, okay? Okay, so number 9, Article 9, Board of Directors Managers, to add a new section 6. Section 6, if a board member has been removed from the 15th District PTA Board of Directors for cause, theft, malfeasance, or not fulfilling their duties, they shall not be eligible to hold a position on the 15th District PTA Board of Directors. Appeal process, if removed from office after a minimum of 2 years, an appeal may be made. An individual may be reinstated by a majority vote of the 15th District PTA Executive Board. So that is what you're voting on. If you want to make this motion pass, you're going to write yes. If you want this motion to fail, you will write no. If you write on your ballot yes, no, and check one, it is an invalid ballot. It will be discarded. So it has to either be one word, yes, you want this motion to pass, or no, you do not. Is that clear to everyone? And also to please fold it in half so you cannot see your response and drop it in the box. Try and keep it from your neighbor. Write your answer and drop the box. Hold on, Sherry. Who had a point of?
I have more or less of a question.
Can you stand so I can and announce your name?
I'm Ashley Wallace, saying 15th District as now.
Please.
I'm here just on.
You're fine. I want everything answered.
I just wanted to code of conduct, because you're all saying for cause and it's a theft. Are you all on a code of conduct of how you are?
Because unfortunately that we called for the question. I can't, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, once a question's been called on that, just so everyone knows in the room for future reference, we can't discuss it anymore. Or I wish I could have answered and had someone answer that question for you, but. All right, ladies. And if everyone can stay quiet so they can make sure and hear what they're doing.
2.
No.
They have to have a yellow wristband on.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
You're out?
Yeah.
Huh? Do pink first and come back and get these.
Wait, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Well,
If you need to have Kathy Smiley afterwards pick up your ballot, please raise your hand so she can come back and get them collected. And also, I will be sending Sharon Whitworth, our parliamentarian, out with them just to make sure, to supervise the counting, to make sure it's done correctly and accurately. Everyone's ballots are in the ballot box. Going once, going twice. All right, tellers.
That 48 votes cast.
Huh?
48 votes cast.
Yes, that was. Huh? Right. We counted out, but it doesn't mean that there's going to be 48 ballots in the box. Make sure they can hear me.
The woman, she came out of the tree. She stepped on two. That's amazing.
Are you looking at them? I want to make sure I can hear me in the back. I'm trying to project, make sure everyone can hear me. And I'm like, my vocal cords are feeling it, but that's okay.
There's an area, there's an area over to the area, but it's still like.
Okay, if we have everyone seated. And Kathy Smiley, President-elect for Kentucky State PTA, is going to read the report.
Number of eligible voters, 48. Number of votes cast, 48. 39 yes, 8 no, 1 ineligible, 32 for bylaws to pass.
Thank you. All right. Number of eligible voters, 48. Number of votes cast, 48. 39 yes, 8 no, 1 ineligible. For a 2/3 vote for this to pass, it took a count of 32, in which we have 39. So this motion does carry and it does pass.
Madam President, I also have a motion to destroy these ballots and the upcoming ballots.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of destroying the ballots that were just placed? Please raise your hand by signifying aye. All those with no that do not want to destroy, raise your hand. Okay, motion carries and we will destroy the ballots. In other words, give them to me, Jen. I take them and shred them. You can rip them up?
Yeah.
Oh, just rip them up, sorry. Have fun. All right. Can we check to make sure no one else needs to enter the room before we start on bylaw change number 2? We have one person signing in. Teal and yellow, how's that? Okay, because this is just a renumbering, can I just raise our hand and talk about ballot? Or do we need a ballot? I need a ballot. Huh? Yeah, but I'm gonna try to do this a little bit. All right. Okay, everyone ready for bylaw change number 2? Because the first one was approved, we now get to go to this one. So the current section 6, any member of PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District Board of Managers. Section 7, if a member of the Board of Managers is absent for one meeting without reasonable excuse or not fulfilling his or her duties, their position may be declared vacant by a majority vote of the Board Managers and the vacancy may/shall be filled. Section 8, chairman will serve concurrent with a newly elected president. It would like to be updated to Section 7, any member of PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District PTA Board of Managers. Section 8, if a member of the Board of Managers is absent for more than one meeting without a reasonable excuse and/or not fulfilling his or her duties, their position may be declared vacant by a majority vote of the Board of Managers, and the vacancy shall be filled. Section 9, chairman will serve concurrent with a newly elected president. The rationale is this new section just requires that we renumber, so we do not have two section 6s under Article 9. Does that make sense to everyone? So we're renumbering. It's the same identical wording, just renumbering it. Right, because we already have a top. We added a section 6, so we now need to shift everything down to a 7, an 8, and a 9. Make sense?
Yes.
Do you guys want to talk, if you do for and against on this? I mean, it's changing numbering, but you can be more there a question, point of information.
Eddie Squires, 15th District PTA, I'd like to call for the vote.
Okay. Takes a 2/3 to call for the vote. So again, if everyone's ready to call for the vote, please raise your hand. Anyone, hands down. If anyone doesn't, please raise your hand. Not all the hands went up. Okay. Are you guys okay if I do a voice vote on this, since this is just really renumbering? We don't want to do the whole thing yet. Okay.
Yes.
Love you all. Thank you. Sorry, I have to ask this properly. Is there an objection if we do a voice vote and not a ballot vote for bylaw change number 2? Okay. See, that's why I should make sure I do everything right. Okay, so all in favor of, do you guys really want me to reread it? Thank you. So all in favor of bylaw change number 2, which is renumbering, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All opposed, please raise your hand and say no. Motion passes. We are moving right along to motion number 3. Because y'all approved number 2, we move to 3. So current section 7 states any member of a PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District Board of Managers. It would be updated to read section 7. Any member of a PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District Board of Managers, except those who are not eligible in Article 9, Section 6. The rationale is the new Section 6 requires that we make sure that all other sections reflect this change. In Section 6, an individual cannot be on the Board of Directors if they have been removed. Anyone would like to speak for or against, or a point of clarification? If you could go back and see the lovely people at the back. You have to. Making sure I'm doing this all correctly. All right, closed debate. So you read motion to call for the vote.
Yes, Michael Linden, motion to school PTSA, call for vote.
Second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, so it takes a 2/3 to close the vote. All in favor of closing the vote, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All opposed, raise your hand and say no. Ayes have it. So we are calling for the vote. I will read this one more time just so everyone is clear what you're voting on. Currently section 7, any member of a PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District Board of Managers. It will be updated to any member of a PTA, PTSA shall be eligible to hold office on the 15th District Board of Managers, except those who are not eligible in Article 9, Section 6. What's the word I have to say? Do I have consent?
Is there any objection?
Is there any objection to do a voice vote on this instead of a ballot vote? Everyone is okay with us doing a voice vote? Yes? Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and vote on this motion. Everyone clear? All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. 2/3 have it, and the motion carries. Last and final motion, everyone. Bylaw change number 4. Hold on, sorry. I'm getting ahead of them here. Thank you, Yolanda. All right, change of Article 6, membership dues, Section 6. This change would take effect on July 1st, 2019. Currently, Section 6, each local PTA, PTSA of the district shall pay annual dues of 20 cents per member to the district based on last year's membership sold. Dues must be remitted by October 1st. Proposed updated to Section 6. Each local PTA, PTSA of this district shall pay dues of 20 cents per member and are to be paid in the year collected. Dues must be remitted by the 15th of the month collected. Rationale. The dues being paid as collected will align this with Kentucky State PTA's process for national and state dues. This also keeps the treasurer from having to send out yearly bills and track down and explain the process to new board members. It will decrease paperwork and mailing costs and will help in the collection of dues. Is there anyone who wants to speak for? Yes. Okay.
Hi everybody, I'm Brittany Goddard. I am the district treasurer, and I didn't know if there was maybe opposition to it, but I just wanted to say that there's a lot of work sending out bills to all of the schools. There are schools that maybe they're not coming back the next year, so those dues that we should have been given, they are no longer, we can't get them because there is no longer a PTA. So this is just aligning us with the district and national of collecting the dues when you're paid. So when you pay the 15th every month to state, you'll also be paying the district. So it's just kind of aligning it so there aren't any issues with having to be a bill collector.
Ms. Jones, if you have a question, you can go to the table and sign in for point of information or for and against, and then we'll address it. All right, Sherry, point of information, your name and where you're from. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to close debate? Okay, all right. Do I have a second? Did you write a motion, Sherry? Yeah. Ms. Jones, if this motion passes, then you cannot speak, but if it doesn't, because once debate's closed. Parliamentary procedure. All right. Give it to Ms. Paula. All right, and it was set, huh? So the motion reads to close debate. We're calling for a vote. Takes 2/3 to pass. To close the debate of this topic of the motion I just read for bylaw change number 4. And I have a second. Okay. Again, 2/3. Please raise your hand if you want to close the debate on this topic and call for the vote. Okay, count. We have 49 in the room. We have 49. So 32. Okay, we're gonna have to recount. We're really close. So if you need to stand, we're gonna call off numbers. So if you want to close the debate, please stand, and we're going to call off numbers. I have to do this accurately, everyone. Sorry. So if you want to close the debate, this is for closing the debate.
Did she get her answer?
Okay.
Okay, say it one more time.
This is to close the debate, and we're going to call for the vote. So we're going to stand and count off because I have to have 2/3 to close the debate.
Have it now.
Okay. We have actually. We do. So, all right.
We didn't.
We did. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we're doing it correctly, so. All right, I am going to read the change one more time before we vote on it. The current section 6 reads, each local unit PTA, PTSA of this district shall pay annual dues of 20 cents per member to the district based on last year's membership sold. Dues must be remitted by October 1st. It would be updated to say, section 6, each local unit PTA, PTSA of this district shall pay dues of 20 cents per member and are to be paid in the year collected. Dues must be remitted by the 15th of the month collected. That's my word for voice. If there's no objections, I know, you would think I would get this by now, it's late. If there are no objections, can we do a voice vote for this bylaw instead of a ballot vote? Okay, so it takes, is any objections for doing a voice vote? Okay, all in favor of passing bylaw change number 4 as I read to you, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? It passes by a 2/3 vote. And now I am going to turn the meeting back over to Autumn Nagel, 15th District PTA President.
All right, I want to say thank you guys for coming out. I know it was late tonight, and even though we gave 30 notice, people had other things to do. I appreciate you all coming out and going through these bylaws with us. I also want to invite you to our May banquet, which is on May 7th. We also have a slate of candidates and candidates running from the floor. There's paperwork out there. They've also been going out in the mail. It's on our website, and it will be on MailChimp and Facebook tonight. In addition, there is forms out there. If you would like to come to the Awards Banquet, all the information is on there. We have some really great PTAs. They've done some awesome stuff, and we're really going to celebrate them. Do you have a question?
For the PTA bank, do you guys accept credit cards at all, or is everything that's been done by check? I don't see a credit card.
We do not have a credit card option. We tried to find a way to do that, but it was so expensive that we couldn't find a way to make it easier. So this time we don't. There is, okay, I can't, there's something for next year, but not this year. So just to let you know, heads up, yay next year, but not next year, not this year. Sorry, so wait another, month, there we go. Any other questions? I know this wasn't.
The VAS bylaw, section 6. Yeah.
Okay, so retroactively to go through the since back 15th of May.
Well, it doesn't take effect until July 1st, but if you want to do it now, we're not going to stop you. Because it's less paper we're going to do. The new treasurer will have to send out bills for those that haven't done it. There are PTAs that do it every month like clockwork, so they don't have to worry about it. But that is clearly up to you. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and do it now, that's great for us because it gets that paperwork and we don't have to do that bill collecting next year. All right, thank you guys very much, and I close the meeting at 7:08.
Oh, that man's name was Michael Newman.
Facebook Live.
The person that called for debate was Michael Newman.